Good, happy Sunday morning, May 3rd, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Sunday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Sunday morning, so let's begin. First up, health officials announced 3 more deaths related to COVID-19 in New Hampshire. Death toll now 84. 3 more people in New Hampshire have died from complications of COVID-19, health officials said Saturday. This brings the total number of deaths attributed to the coronavirus to 84. The Department of Health and Human Services said all patients were 60 years of age or older. 1 woman was a resident of Hillsborough County, and a man and a woman were residents of Rockingham County. Health officials announced there were 121 new positive COVID-19 test results, bringing the total number of cases to 2,429, with several cases still under investigation. Officials say there are 1,238 active cases of coronavirus in the state. 4 of these new cases are individuals under the age of 18. The new cases reside in Rockingham, 50, Hillsborough, 47, including 27 in Manchester, 9 in Nashua, Merrimack, 6, Stratford, 4, Grafton, 2, and Belknap, 1. And those are the counties that have cases. The county of residence is being determined for 11 new cases. Overall, 1,017 patients have recovered from COVID-19. DHHS also announced that more than 1,500 individuals were tested for COVID-19 on Friday, May 1st, the state's highest one-day total. 7 more hospitalized cases have been identified for a total of 277 hospitalizations since the pandemic began. There are 103 patients currently hospitalized with COVID-19, officials said. Health officials said 10 of the new cases have no identified risk factors, indicating that community-based transmission of COVID-19 is continuing to increase in the state and has been identified in all counties with cases. And now let's take a look at your COVID-19 in New Hampshire important information, what you need to know. And here is a look at that COVID-19 in New Hampshire, the important information that you need to know. There are 2,449 number of people in New Hampshire who have tested positive for COVID-19. 1,032,315 number of people in the United States who have tested positive. 84 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 277 number of people who have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 66,364 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. This map of New Hampshire shows you where cases of COVID-19 are in towns and cities of New Hampshire. In Salem, 162 cases of COVID-19. This chart here, new cases each day in New Hampshire. In the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalizations, and in the red, deaths. In this chart here, current cases, total current COVID-19 cases and current hospitalizations. In this chart here, cumulative totals. In the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, total hospitalizations. In the red, deaths. And in the blue, recovered. This chart here shows you by age group. This chart here shows you by female and male. And this chart here, risk information. This chart here shows you race/ethnicity of cases. And this chart here shows you percent of New Hampshire population. And again, your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, and difficult breathing. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. People rally at the State House against the stay-at-home order. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Some work can't stop because our communities need you, which is why we're working to keep you working, to help you keep homes and properties maintained, your farm running, and construction moving. Your work is essential, and we're here to help. Together, we will get through this. Take advantage of 0% financing on Kubota equipment. No payments for 90 days. Offer expires May 31st.
Chapel Tractor, where you'll notice the difference since 1955.
Granite Staters protesting the state's current stay-at-home orders gathered outside the State House today. People held signs as part of the Reopen New Hampshire rally. They've rallied before in the midst of the pandemic, calling on the governor to lift restrictions. They say people are financially suffering and should be allowed to go back to work.
One-size-fits-all solutions don't work. What works for a hair salon in Milford won't work for a hair salon in Manchester. And what we need to do is to allow them to figure out what the salon owners want to do. Some of them want to open, some of them don't. But they should be the ones making that decision, not government.
Now, the governor did say in his briefing yesterday, no business has to reopen if it doesn't feel safe doing so. Organizers made masks available to people at the rally today, but said they did not require people to use them.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. 81 Walmart employees at Massachusetts store test positive for coronavirus. A total of 61 positive cases among employees since early April. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR, WCVB, Boston. Sorry about that.
At New England Dental Group, we use the latest innovations to provide affordable dental implants, specializing in the all-on-4 solution for a completely new smile. Call today about your dental implants. New England Dental Group, all your dental experts at one location.
There were a lot of anxiety amongst employees at Walmart.
An outbreak of the coronavirus shuts down a Walmart in Worcester. Dozens of employees testing positive after a city inspection Tuesday found that not all workers here were wearing the required face coverings, even though the company says they've been requiring them for at least a week and a half. A recent customer told us many shoppers haven't been wearing them either.
People just did not care when we came here, so it's not shocking.
The city ordered all 377 employees here tested. and said the store won't reopen until all the results are in and an official inspects the building for cleaning, signage, and supplies.
This gave us a great opportunity to, most importantly, get people that have the coronavirus isolated.
In a statement Saturday, Walmart thanked local officials, adding, quote, "Our focus is on giving our associates the time they need through our COVID-19 paid leave policy so they can take the time they need to get well." And officials say shoppers shouldn't panic.
The likelihood of you having the kind of protracted contact is very, very low.
Still, would-be customers today were glad the store was shut down.
Most stores that are open now, you got to figure that people with COVID are going in and out of there, and you just have to protect yourself.
People should probably start taking it serious.
And still no word on when this store might reopen. Both city officials and store officials don't seem to be in a particular rush, at least publicly.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. One new coronavirus-related death, nearly 30 new confirmed cases reported in Maine. Let's take a listen to that video from WMTW News 8 Maine.
Giving the class of 2020 recognition they deserve. Channel 8 senior shout-outs.
First, the latest numbers. One more person has died in Maine since yesterday, raising the total number of COVID deaths in Maine to 19 deaths, so the total is now 56. The CDC also announcing 29 new confirmed cases, raising that total to 1,152. But there is some good news. 689 Mainers have recovered. That is up 32 from yesterday.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New report indicates China misled world about coronavirus. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
It's a new report from U.S. intelligence finding that China misled the world about how bad the coronavirus outbreak was, while also stockpiling face masks and other medical supplies. It comes after an earlier intelligence report that says China has never revealed their real numbers of infections and deaths. ABC's Rachel Scott has more.
Tonight, tensions between the U.S. and China escalating. U.S. intelligence officials now accusing China of deception, saying they hid the growing nature of the coronavirus crisis. A report from the Department of Homeland Security obtained by ABC News says, quote, "The Chinese government intentionally concealed the severity of COVID-19 in early January, while it stockpiled medical supplies. The report claims they increased imports and decreased exports, choking off supplies to nations in dire need. Homeland Security analysis shows China sent 48% fewer gloves, face masks down 71%, and exported 45% fewer ventilators." While the report says this started in early January, on the 14th, the WHO released a tweet saying China saw no evidence of human-to-human transmission. U.S. intelligence officials say the Chinese government attempted to hide its actions by denying export restrictions and delaying its trade data. Just last week, President Trump attacked China for not doing more when the outbreak began.
We are not happy with China. We are not happy with that whole situation because we believe it could have been stopped at the source, it could have been stopped quickly, and it wouldn't have spread all over the world.
And Tom, Chinese officials are pushing back against allegations that they were slow to respond or covered up details about the outbreak. A spokesperson says America should stop shifting the blame and instead focus on ways to contain the virus in the U.S. Tom?
Rachel, thank you. Hi, everyone.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.